Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolfe.
It was a very close to average day across the state line with our temperature, and we were also lacking a lot of that humidity that we had gotten used to earlier in the week. We made it briefly to 82 in Rockford. We're now sitting in the low 70s and upper 60s for many of us. 66, the coolest spot right now in Rochelle, 69 DeKalb and Poplar Grove, 71 in Harvard, Rockford and Dixon, 70 out in Galena. Our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa reporting a temperature also of 71 degrees, a dew point of 62, along with a calm wind and no rain from earlier today. Although you might have noticed that radar was looking a little spotty with a few showers trying to show up mainly north and west of Rockford. A lot of this rain that showed up, though, did not quite make it to the ground, and they're pretty good evidence of that when you look at some viewer pictures sent to us just west of the Rockford Airport. Looking west, Teresa sent these in showing a little bit of those streaks of clouds extending down from the base of the clouds. Those are actually referred to as virga, and that happens when precipitation falls from the sky but doesn't quite make it all the way down to the surface. Normally, you get precipitation in the form of rain that ends up making it all the way down to the ground in the form of those raindrops. But if you have a layer of drier air just above the surface, that can actually prevent some of that from making it down to the ground and therefore falling in the form of virga. And those pictures showcasing just that extension of some of that rain before it evaporated, making its way down to the ground. We're still dry here into the evening. A view of that with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera overlooking Rochelle here this evening. A very calm evening in store as well. We're down to 63 for that overnight low. A few passing clouds through the area, but generally speaking, we'll stay dry, very pleasant and calm night, very close to average, that 63-degree low. However, tomorrow, that starts our changes in the forecast. We're back to 88 for that afternoon high temperature and a little bit more in the way of the humidity. Southerly wind 5 to 15 miles per hour, not all that strong, but the humidity going to be the big story over the next several days. Our heat index will start to approach close to that 90 and eventually 100-degree mark. Starting tomorrow, high temperature 88, but it will feel closer to 90 or 95 degrees when you factor in that heat paired with the humidity. Saturday and Sunday, high temperature right around 90 degrees, but it could feel above 100 when you factor in that humidity. Now, Sunday, there are still some question marks as to a frontal boundary and where that will be placed along with some scattered storms, but at least that forecast at the moment could put that very close to Saturday's forecast for the heat and that humidity. Here's a look at those thunderstorm chances, though, developing with Futurecast. We stay dry here going into the afternoon tomorrow, but late tomorrow evening and the overnight, that's when we'll start to see a few of these spotty storms work their way a little bit closer, and they're likely going to be following along wherever that stationary frontal boundary is, a separation between very warm and humid air mass and slightly drier and cooler air. And wherever that ends up, that's likely going to be the focal point for these thunderstorms. And it's going to be somewhat close by over the next few days going into Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. And you can see that showing up very well late Saturday night into the early part of Sunday. So there are at least a few chances for some periodic thunderstorms over the weekend paired with some of that heat and some of that humidity. It's not going to be a washout on every single day, but mainly during the evenings and the mornings would be the highest coverage of some of those showers and storms. Starting Friday night and then continuing again into the early part of Saturday and then late again Saturday evening. High temperatures approaching that 90-degree mark, but feeling closer to 100. We'll eventually push that front down to the south, and that'll bring another round of some more comfortable air back down near 80 degrees by this time next week.